Hello, everyone. Welcome to part 2 in a series on spirituality, something that I'm super jacked to talk about and super excited to share with you. So, first we talked about how you started, basically the formative years, 0 to 8 years old. That's where all that subconscious mind kicks in. Now I want to talk to you about environment. So what was your environment growing up? You could have been raised in a family that went to church all the time, and, maybe you went to Bible study. You could have, Bible studies, you were in youth groups, all that stuff, all the way to somebody like me who had no church in my environment growing up. My environment, the first time I really got a glimpse of church was through Jesse Jackson, and I remember him coming to the playground where us local kids were shooting hoops, and the guys that were with him said, "Hey, can Jesse shoot hoops with you?" And we're like, "Yeah, sure, whatever, that's fine." So we were blocking his shot and everything, and pretty soon one of the guys says, "Hey, can you let Jesse get off his shot?" And there were camera guys there. So we're like, "Sure, whatever." So of course we did. And the next night on the local news, here's the headline: Jesse shows the locals how it's done. Oh my goodness. So you guys, that was the environment I grew up in. Jesse would come to our school and down with dope, up with hope. The white man's got you down. Negative stuff, just bad stuff. So I thought, and that was my view of religion, church, right? That's where I got that was the environment I grew up in. And in my school, there were, a fair amount of us that were like, nah, something about this is not ringing true. I felt like religion was for the weak. It was preying on people who were kind of woe is me, taking advantage of folks. That divisiveness thing, that was not good to me. I mean, I had, growing up, my dad was half black and half Cherokee Indian, and my mom was half German and half Lithuanian. So, I mean, what is it with this divisive stuff? We're all people. That was my mindset. So I thought religion was evil. You just stayed away from it. And then, we had, as I was growing up, you had Jim Jones, that thing, and you had the Bakers, Tammy and Jim Baker, whatever their name was. And yet, these pastors and these people getting in trouble and, all of this kind of stuff. I could tell you story after story. So again, no positive role models in quote unquote church for me. The spirituality piece, my mom was into kind of the yoga stuff and astrology and all of that. And I didn't think much of that either. I'm just like, okay, whatever, I just thought I have to do me and be me. So that was the environment I grew up with was, all of that stuff is just, again, imagine my mindset was, I can do it. I can do it. You can have it all. You can do it. Right? Just do it, Nike, all that stuff. So reflect on, your environment growing up. What was it like? What influenced your view of spirituality or church or God? So interesting to look back. And again, not with judgment or not with this is right or this is wrong or whatever, just to understand the environment. Because again, what this is going to lead up to is we can give ourselves grace, one for, how we were formed and spoken into before 8. And then your environment plays a big role in how you perceive things. Not reality, but how you perceive things. If someone is told that they're not smart, I was just listening to Les Brown again this morning. He's so good. So he was told that he was like basically retarded or he was dumb. He was one of the he was twins, and they said he's the dumb twin. And he owned that because people spoke that into him until a teacher, finally said to him, "No, I don't ever want to hear that out of you again." Changed his mindset. I see it all the time. People can, be part of a certain environment, and you get into this victim mentality. By the same token, you have people that are in an amazing environment where they're told positive things about themselves, told positive things about their spirituality, whatever, not necessarily positive, but just affirming things. And that's going to guide you. It's going to guide your journey. It's just so interesting to think about that. So where do your beliefs come from? They don't come from you. They come from your environment, the people around you, the things you let in your head, the social media, all of that stuff. That's where your beliefs come from. It's scary when you think about it. Those aren't your beliefs, how you were in my world, created by Father God to do amazing things, created for abundance and love and, unique things that contribute to this world. So it's just so interesting to see how your environment shapes you, and to be open-minded enough that when you do have a chance to expand and think, you can do it with an open mind. Again, I was not exposed in my environment, before, I'd say through high school. I was not exposed to anything necessarily from a religious or, spiritual standpoint, other than what I've talked about. Now, as I got into college, the environment changed because I went to a Catholic college. So I didn't go to church still, but we had, the sisters, Franciscan order and all that stuff. So I always thought they were kind of cool. It was cool to talk to them. And there was always kind of a peace about them. So I thought, oh yeah, they're pretty cool. But that was it. So the next thing I want you to do, guys, is think about your environment. What was the environment that you grew up in? And again, it's just fascinating historical look at you. And this is starting to shape your story. Here's what was programmed into me. Here's the environment I grew up in. All right, we're going to get going with the next iteration here in a little bit. Thanks.